diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of slime. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me. Yeah. Big time, big time, big time.
Welcome to episode 306 of Fourth and Jawn. I'm Gail Saunders here with Mr. Primo and Mr. Damn Skippy in the building. We're talking episode 306, Eagles versus Jaguars recap. If you haven't noticed, it's still raining outside. This last game, I can't even lie to you. As a guy who's been to a lot of Eagles games and done a lot of tailgates, this is probably the most wet we've been at tailgates. Freezing cold. Some people look like chihuahuas out there. We were at the stadium. Me and Evan. I'm not gonna even lie. We're like, if they score 2 touchdowns here, we're gonna leave at halftime. So
were you guys envious of me being able to go outside and then come back inside and then go back outside?
I was not.
That was a large grill outside. They were grilling dogs, burgers, cheesesteaks.
No, not at all.
Chicken.
Not at all.
They had a big ass spread of pasta, and then he had cooked me some bacon, and then
I know we manned it up. So I felt.
You know
good
when
about
I manned it up?
ourselves.
You know when I manned it up? Well, I manned it up when I went in. I had to go inside to use the restroom. That's when I manned it up.
There you go. We're gonna put you in the bathroom now. So just overall, just thinking about the way that the day was set up. Shout out to all you Eagle fans that showed up to the tailgate and suffered with us. I mean, it was a good time overall.
Wait a minute, hold on. If we won the game, you weren't suffering that bad.
No, I'm talking about outside in the water, bro.
In the element. Just think if you had to play in that.
Well, let me finish here.
Okay. My bad. So, deepest apologies.
So I'm just saying all the fans that suffered outside in the weather conditions. But just thinking about this Eagles team, they have showed you week in and week out that they've found different ways to win, whether it's or different players who've come up and stepped up and come up big in games to get these W's, whether it's a Jalen, whether it's Devontae Smith, whether it's AJ Brown, whether it's Dallas Goedert consistently getting work on these screens, whether it's if you can go across the line, Brandon Graham, you can go Fletcher Cox.
You want to win, put Booby in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just talking about like there's so many players that have come up and come up big in big games. Just mentioned Booby, man. He's had a career game. A lot of Eagle fans. I'm not gonna say us, but I'm just saying there's been a lot of Eagle fans who question Miles Sanders. He showed up big, and talking about the weather that was such it was raining all day. It's still raining. It's like 3 days of raining. I haven't seen this much rain since Noah Ark. But I know Prime, you were lucky to go home after the tailgate. I was a little jealous when I heard you were going home.
Yeah, man. Look, you pretty much explained everything correctly. I mean, it was a crazy ass day, but at the end of the day, we came together as a team and we put it together. I mean, Hollis, man, kiss my ass with your going to the burgers and going back to the building and this and that.
Sorry, that was my evil laugh.
I mean, we were the real ones because we stood out there and we entertained the people. Shout out to those that joined us. I mean, it was another great tailgate that was put together, and everybody made it happen. And if it wasn't for them, none of this would be possible. Yes, it was cold as shit. I mean, my ass came out of my house with shorts.
Whoa, with shorts on?
Yeah,
dude.
Bro,
I had on a jacket. I swear like R. Kelly at a Girl Scout meeting. I had on a jacket.
My day was crazy. My day was crazy. Coming out of that building with some shorts on. It was hot when I walked out of my house, and I'm like, okay, it's going to be a pretty decent day. I get the walk with me, and it started coming down a little bit. I wasn't thinking nothing of it. I get to the spot. I was the first one there. I thought Gail was going to beat me there, but I actually beat him there. Started setting up, and then I took a ride to go check on E-Rock and his family, just something I traditionally do. And then as I'm riding back, oh man, this rain came down, and that was it. It was a wrap. The guys got there, and you know what I mean? Hey, look, the rest of the time it was just coming down, man. And yeah, me being in shorts definitely did not help the situation. Everybody kept on asking me, you going into the game? And man, this is the first time, like Gail had mentioned, man. I mean, we've been to many games, but this is the first time I was actually happy to say, no, I'm not going to the game. I'm not going to the game. I'm gonna get my ass back in this truck, and I'm gonna go back over the bridge, and I'm gonna go cuddle up. And I mean, I'm looking at some of the comments. Yes, I was under the blankets, man. I ended up sending the picture to the guys as they were in that stadium freezing their asses off. And I'm cuddled up and I was enjoying it, man. Yeah, I was nice and warm after that because, man, that weather kicked our ass. Kicked our ass bad. Yeah.
Well, you know, I weathered the element a little bit. Was at the gatehouse with Philly Sports Strips. They half of it was outside because, you know, they was cooking outside and stuff. So they had the cover part outside. But they had heaters there, so I started sweating. So you know, I had on my jacket and stuff, and had on my little fedora, and I had on my Eagles thermal. And so once I got me a full meal deal, I went to the inside where they was playing some football style music. You saw the post with the jamborees and the Eagles fight song and stuff. Everybody's all festive and stuff, and a lot of those people actually. They walked to the game and still went in. Most of the people that was at the tailgate, they went in, and it's kind of like one of those things where somebody's like, "Are you going to the game?" I was like, "No, I'm going to see my buddy PJ at Dolan's." But we over there was cool because you had to go outside to smoke cigars and cigarettes, but we still didn't have to relish in the elements. So I commend Gail and you guys for being out there. I saw you guys on TV. You guys look cold as hell. As I ordered another order of onion rings, they were delicious.
Shout out to the people that are joining in the chat. Rack Shack with a comment here. Really love the way the team battled the weather and adversity. Finding different ways to win is what separates great teams from good teams. Now, Big Tank, do you think this is the adversity that they saw this week? Do you think this is the biggest test they've had so far?
Well, yeah, it's one of the biggest tests because we had to come from behind. We were talking about this, and I think it came up in one of our conversations about we've been ahead every time we've been kicking people's ass like right off the rip, and so we haven't had to do anything in the second half. I felt like this was like one of those kind of like a tripwire game where you could actually look past them because you want to play Arizona because everybody's going to be trying to pick Arizona due to Kyler Murray, blah blah blah, and all that stuff. I was like, it was a trip. It was a bit of a trip game. But I don't think the guys took it as that. They came out and they faltered a little bit early, but we see how they band together and put some things together, both offensively and defensively. I still haven't seen my special teams yet, but we need for us to have a complete game. The special teams have got to come on. But I saw it was one of those games where we threw a pick six actually. Then we came back and they scored on us again, and we were down 14-0. So you know everything. Then we started losing guys. You saw lots of guys to some shoulder injuries and stuff, and the guys behind them stepped up and was ready to play. That's the part that I loved and enjoyed, especially about the squad. You couldn't do nothing but relish in it. As we was coming back, you could do nothing but relish in it. Now there was a few jackasses that was in the bar that I was at. Oh, what's going on? What's going on? I was like, it's only the first quarter. It's the first half. Come on, man. Have some faith. Santa Slay needs to move, damn it. So you better be singing and singing loud. I don't want to hear anybody lip sync. I don't want to see anybody lip syncing or mumbling. Santa Slay needs to move. So you have to sing, Prime, no lip syncing. You have to sing and sing loud so they can hear you. I commend you guys for you guys kind of wheeled them back in. It was great. It was great, dude. If you put it this way, when I had a game out there, I knew I could come back to the side a game out there in this type of element, and my parents was out there. If I play like crap, dude, you know what type of tongue lashes and ass whooping I probably get when I got back. So you better win, especially at home. But
yeah, it's definitely a tough mutter. I first want to give hat tip to Jeff Stoughton, man. This dude is a guy who week in and week out he gets his guys ready to go. Them hogs up front, whether it's your first stringer, your second stringer, your third stringer, you got guys coming in off the bench cold and really giving you some valuable snaps. What were your thoughts about the guys coming off the bench? Sewell, Opeta, and Driscoll.
I mean, you had Josiah Scott, you had Driscoll coming off, stepping in. And they did their thing, man. I mean, just going back to the very beginning. I mean, shout out to the team in general, the way they played in the game. I mean, Hollis, you brought up a good point in the very beginning of the show. We're not, I never played football. I wish I did. I know Gail's played football, and we know Big Tank's played football. So I mean, for you guys, for those players to play in that weather condition and then do what they did. I mean, it took a lot. I mean, we were down 14-0. I mean, you had a lot of people, a lot of the haters reaching out, especially to me at 14-0. That we've been exposed. We ain't who we thought they thought we were. And now we know who we really are and this and that. And all I said was, look, that's good. I'm glad you're feeling that way. Make sure you have that same energy when that clock hits 0. All right. Make sure you have that same energy. And of course, when it was that time, nobody was nowhere to be found.
Nobody was anywhere to be found, Prime. All you heard was crickets, man.
That's it. And look, at the end of the day, these guys came together, and Gail, it's the truth, bro. People that stepped in and came and played their part, they did their thing, man. And so it was a awakening for us fans, because like you guys had mentioned earlier, we've been accustomed to beating people's asses from the get-go, and here we were down. So the way they fought to come from behind and take the lead and then just keep on putting their foot on the gas pedal was, something that we needed to see, especially what we're about to go to right now. Us fans about to get in this plane in a couple of days and go to Arizona. I mean, we needed that shit. So I'm amped just seeing that defense come together and come back and take over that game. Yo,
you know what impressed me? You know what impressed me the most was the poise of our quarterback. If you notice, he didn't get flustered. You didn't see him on the sideline yelling at anybody, cursing or nothing. It's like when you see most time when you see a quarterback go down 14-0, and the way we started off, you see him having a fucking hissy fit on the sideline. And the big thing was, and I loved Reddick's what he said. They were talking about something. Do you think the weather had anything to do? Well, we was playing in the rain too, weren't we? It's like you're not gonna use no weather as no excuse for their shortcomings. And I'm glad he said that to put them on notice. It's like everybody's playing in the same element. Like all those punk motherfuckers that be talking that crap about when you beat a team that they think you're not supposed to beat. It's like did you guys win or did they beat themselves? I don't know if you was watching the game. We took advantage of the mistakes those bums made and we kicked their ass.
That's it.
Now why are we talking about the loser? Why are you talking about the loser? Right. I get sick and tired of that. They do that all the time. Did they lose the game or did they got beat? If they could have won, they would have. So it would have been a different narrative. Cut that crap out.
Now, if you go back and watch the film on those plays by Reddick, man, those are strictly, he has his hands honed on the ball. He knows exactly what he's going to do. Strip of the ball and come away with these takeaways and the way that they closed the game out, you know what I'm saying? Like close out on a defensive play.
Oh yeah.
Before that, shout out again. Darius Slay in the locker room had mentioned he's like, asking the real question: how did the Giants let this man get away? Because Bradbury coming up with these picks, man. And talking to Brandon Graham at the Trent Cole camp, that was the one thing he mentioned at first. He said Bradbury, he's picked up this defense so fast. He's playing fast out there, and again, this is showing up in games. And he took Trevor Lawrence to work.
Trevor Lawrence, Dirty Jesus. What, I thought we were saying with trust.
It looked like Peyton Manning and Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh God, or Miss Man from Scary Movies.
All right, so what's your biggest takeaway from the Eagles win?
My biggest takeaway is we're gonna put some pressure on the quarterbacks now. Between that now if we can continue what he's doing, because I see the process going with Jonathan Gannon now. He's starting to utilize the guys better. Because at first, remember the Minnesota game? We had Reddick trying to cover Irv Smith. That's a mismatch all day long. It's like, so to me, he's starting to get this. And the other part is I hope this is a step in the right direction for Miles Sanders. because I as you know, last week what you was with us prime when I picked him as the offensive MVP. Well, actually, he can't remember because his glitch was in the he was in the office and he was glitched all up. But my biggest takeaway is Jonathan Gannon really started to utilize the defense the way that it should be used. So that was my biggest takeaway.
That's when Tank is giving love to Gannon.
Exactly, man. And you know what? I'm going to follow up with it because it's the truth, man. He's only getting better as the weeks go on. He's finally putting this defense together and putting people in the right places, man. And then again, somebody goes down, you got the right person that's going to come in and pick up where that person left off. I mean, there was a couple plays like in the very beginning, you know what I mean, when he had Kayvon in there. Kayvon definitely wasn't playing his route the correct way. So it was just like, all right, I got their PT. That's it. Mm-hmm. Get the hell out. Let's go ahead and get the people up in there. And that's what he did. You know what I mean? So he made some arrangements. Yep. And that was the thing. That was the attitude at least I had. You know what I mean? Seeing that we were down 14-0, all I kept on saying to myself, my wife is my witness, man. I'm just screaming out loud. And I'm like, look, calm the fuck down. We're going to get this shit together. Let's go ahead and regroup. And, you know what I mean? Let's come to our senses. And that's exactly what Jonathan Gannon did, man. So it was good to see. It was good that they came back from adversity and took over that game, man. So I'm really happy on how things are starting to come together with that defense.
Now, Jeremy, in the comments, he says, it was tough to see us go down 14-0, but this team has a lot of grit. I knew they were going to go down they weren't going to go down without a fight. This is a totally different team than we never had. And I went back and looked at the comment of Miles Sanders in the offseason when he talked about this team being, to him, was an all-star team. And as you keep going across the roster and you start looking at the players and in the comments of like Slay, there's no Robins, just all Batmans. It's very tough to find players. It's some that are role players. They're all successfully really good players, I think, across the board. So just having this type of unit together, they're playing well, man.
Yeah, but speaking back off what you said, we have what is known as quality depth, and that's what good teams have. We have quality depth. You can't make a mistake in front of that person, or else you'll have to be sitting on the bench waiting on your turn to get back in. When you have that type of depth, everybody wants to play hard, fast, and make plays, because if you don't, you're not going to get that much playing time. So I love the quality depth thing, and we need to keep it rolling, because I think I saw a post I want to say you did it about right now we're in position to have the 3rd overall pick, and it's a little early to be thinking about next year, but we'd be $39 million under the cap, and look at what we got. Look at what we got so far. The competition at positions does nothing but make our squad better, and that's what I call quality depth. Just like we were talking about Stoutland, he always has the young guys ready to come in and play, and it's like initially when at first I would always be like, damn, somebody went down. Damn, somebody went down. Now when somebody go down, I was like, no worries, stout guys.
No worries, exactly. No worries at all.
Now I got a stat here. Shout out to Shane Half. If you want to check him out on Twitter, he's got a lot of great content. But he tweeted out, down 2 offensive linemen, the Eagles only allowed pressures on 26% of Jalen Hertz's dropbacks. The 3 remaining starters, Kelsey, Dickerson, and Johnson, combined to allow 0 sacks, 0 pressure, and 0 QB hits against a defensive line that we were told was
had 7 sacks. It was extremely formidable. The funniest thing though is the way Lane Johnson welcomed number 44, the 1st overall pick, to the NFL. It was quite a brutal day for the young guy. It was one of those where it's like, welcome to the NFL, pal. It was like, so it was just great to see him have that type of day, and the guys protect Jalen. And I think if we truly want to galvanize this game, that play, I don't know what down it was, but the play in the red zone where Jalen Hertz ran in and ran over their linebacker and stuck the ball out with the ball in control as touchdown, that right there lets you know what type of team we got going.
You're talking like making a, like some players make business decisions. This is where Jalen Hertz does Jalen Hertz things. And there's another Ruben Frank had a set article out there.
No, he pissed me off.
Well, he had this note here. Said the Eagles have the most points in any quarter by any team in NFL history through 4 games. And the Eagles have scored 24, 17, 24, and 20 points in the second quarter this year. And that's 14 more points than any team has ever scored in any quarter in its first 4 games. You know, you start looking at some of these numbers and you're just like, all right, the Eagles are doing some wild things, and you really have to. You just have to hat tip this. I think this comment by Further AM right here says what's crazy is the Eagles aren't even 100% efficient yet on both offense and defense. They're not playing their best ball yet.
Yeah, I mean, and
Jalen
reminds us that every week after after the win, he'll go into that locker room and he'll let the guys know, man, we still left a lot of shit out on the table. So there's still a lot of us to go ahead and actually show. And man, just hearing that every week, it's like, I mean, that right there just gets your adrenaline going, bro. Like, yo, for real, like, I mean, you still got a lot. Hey, listen, I'm looking forward to seeing it all because, man, the excitement with the way these guys are playing is just like, it's just crazy. There's just no worries at all, man. And I'm like really super excited. Like, besides, us winning the Super Bowl back in 2017, like, bro, this team has kind of like right now is just like overstepping that. Like the way they're coming together, man, like it's no joke. So I'm not worried about nobody. Like, and I haven't felt this confident in a minute, bro.
Whoa, he said no. He said nobody.
Well, no, I said any. You correct, Prime. I'm not worried about anybody either. Especially you got the big dogs up front leading the way on both sides of the ball. Will you couple that with the skill position guys we got, and plus the general that's quarterback and everything? Man, you got leading the full scale assault, and then you deploy. Achilles heel for the past few years have been linebacker, but our linebacker core is young and they know what's about. You got a couple of cover guys now that handle business, and then everybody was worried about the safety. Epps is handling business, and CJ is back to handling business. Only one I'm still worried about is Kavon Wallace. It's like because he keeps getting ceremonial playing time, and he be fucking up the coverage. I was like, dude, sit his ass down.
Sit his ass down. I'm with you, bro.
It's like because it was one play. It's like it was one play. Him and Josiah. It's like you're the safety. Josiah is the corner. Yeah. You're the safety. Your ass back. So, but it's one of the things where I think besides the Phillies going to the playoffs now, everything is starting to look good. Together. It's like like the last time the Phillies was in the playoffs was in 2011. It's like, dude, everything is starting to look up. Things are starting to look a little bit better now.
I'm shouting out my brother and my father who watched every single game, every single Phillies game, and they sit there even though when they lose, they watch to the very end. It's their thing. So shout out to those guys. And shout out to the Phillies, man, for doing their thing. I saw this guy tweeted out. He said that my daughter, who's 6.5 months old, has seen some amazing things. The Eagles have not lost yet. He said that the Phillies are going to the playoffs. He said she didn't see Ben Simmons play, and he's like who cares about the Flyers? So I think the kid's living the dream right now. Talk about living the dream. We're going to be living in the dream up with Philly sports trips. We're going to be out in Arizona, the ultimate tailgate out there, and we're going to have there's a lot going on this week. It's 5 days of fun. I wore this shirt that I'm wearing. Shout out to Tim Kincaid, little squad up. I don't know if you can see it. It's got Seth Joyner on there.
Eric Jordan, Clyde Simmons,
who will be doing a show with Hollis. Tell us about that show you're doing.
You want me to tell you about the show? I'm just supposed to show up and look pretty. That's about it. I did a show with him, but I think we were supposed to do the Fanatic show. But it's pretty much it's kind of like a pep rally with the fans. I've been to the bar before. It's a great bar.
You get your hair did?
Probably not. I'm probably gonna have him give me another one of my straw hats. Yeah, I shaved already. I might get some sun on my head and that tender. That's a 2.5 acre water park.
What?
And a 3-story at where we stand.
Oh, where we staying at? Oh,
yeah, and a 3-story water slide.
Hey, okay. Okay. All right.
So you're doing it? I know we were trying to go down a slide in Detroit, but maybe
No.
Arizona.
This is a real water slide. This is. I
don't know if I don't know if I'm ready.
This is back by the FCC. They wanted Detroit. That was some experimental type crap. I saw it online. I was like, oh hell no! You see the one dude? He comes down and he comes off the hump and goes up in the air and just lands and he just gets up like, oh god.
I'm good. I'm good.
Now, Deshae in the comments here, he says, we're going to talk about the winning the East. If you watch Steichen's comments about if you want to be a great football team, you got to win your division. Deshae says here, Sunday's game just reinforced me that we're sweeping the Cowboys this year. They don't got enough bullets. How you guys feel about how we match up to the Cowboys? Because we know there's a lot of Cowboy haters, Prime's brothers probably somewhere lurking.
I mean, look, you gotta take 1 week at a time, man. Right now, our focus is on Arizona.
Oh, I like that, Coach Prime.
You know what I mean, we gotta definitely do that. I mean, everybody knows how I feel about the Cowboys, but I'm not focused on the Cowboys right now. I want to get to Arizona, you know what I mean, because I'm not gonna go ahead and sleep on Kyle Murray and that team. And then they got one of our boys, Zach Ertz. It's gonna be nice to see him, but at the end of the day, you know what I mean, you're on the opposing team now. But like, hey, look. That's what we got to focus on, you know what I mean? So the whole thing about Cowboys, we'll get back to that on the next show. Right now, I mean, it's kind of hard to even speak on it. Yeah, they look sloppy. A lot of these teams in the NFL right now look sloppy, and especially in our division. But I'm going to stick to what I just said. I'm going to take one game at a time.
Yeah, I'm gonna take one game at a time too. But I'm tired of talking about overrated losers. Quit bringing the fucking Cowboys up. Win some motherfucking games. Get the fuck out of here. They on every social outlet. And everybody calling us haters. We're tired of looking at you bitches without winning the title. You don't even go to the playoffs. You go to the playoffs and shit down your leg.
There ain't no reason, man. Too, but they always try to find a reason.
And this is the other part too. I was like, I don't like the Cowboys, but they've had the team to actually win a bunch of games and win a bunch of playoff games. But their coaching sucks ass to no ends. They run the ball right now, and I guarantee you, soon as Dak gets back, they're going to throw the ball 60 times. That's the only reason they're winning is because they're running the ball. It's like if you don't run the ball in this league, you're not going to win. But as soon as Dak gets back, that's their $40 million a year quarterback. They're going to throw the ball 50 or 60 times and run themselves up out of the building. So and then everybody's like, oh, the Cowboys, man, fuck them. We have Arizona Cardinals up next.
Yeah, I like that. Now, RJ, shout out to my old college teammate in the chat. He says, injuries, the next man up and fall back after a big punch after 14 zip. Very exciting team. Bringing up the injuries because that's part of football. Like as much as people want to, it's what happens. So talk about losing your left tackle who had a shoulder injury. You're talking about losing your starting cornerback in all-world Slay. Talk about losing Suamalu down with an ankle injury.
That wasn't really allowed, though. Continue, though.
And then Jake Elliott hurting his leg. I believe was it an ankle? And then
you saw the play, right?
Yeah.
Roughing the kicker.
So I feel like that at the end of the game, there's a moment where you could have kicked a field goal to win the game. They decided to not go that route, but injuries are injuries. We just signed a new kicker. Let me not butcher his name. I just posted our socials. But his name is Cameron Dicker. So we have a lot of questions.
What?
Cameron Dicker?
Digger or Dicker?
Dicker. We got a Dickerson. We have a Dicker.
We got a Dicker for a kicker.
We got Fletcher Cox. We have a lot of content for all you meme creators out there. So I mean, with that being said about the injuries, a lot of those guys have a chance to play. While some of us were very concerned. Shout out to Mrs. Slay. I said, "Is Darius okay?" I don't want to like cross barriers when you're just like, hey,
because you don't want to put them in a predicament where they're answering questions from the NFL because they gave you pregame tips.
I didn't hear anything.
You go bet. I know.
With that being said, I didn't hear anything. So, but everyone looks like they should be playing this week.
Oh, that's good. Well,
and on top of that, I mean, it's a different atmosphere, different weather, so we should be fine. We should be fine.
Yeah,
they have a chance to play. That's for me. That's pretty. That was reported.
The weather. It'll be like the other thing about the weather too is I don't know if you guys paid attention to the games that were down in Miami, how they kept winning. Miami was winning because they had those home games. And it was 100 degrees.
Yeah. And then once they got into that cold, it was like, oh shit.
Yeah, because the funniest thing was watching Josh Allen throw that last pass to try to win the game. How it skipped. He was like, yeah. He looked like Montgomery Burns trying to swing on Smithers.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Now, Trevor Harris in the comments, shout out to Trev. He says, Hollis, what is it going to take for the Eagles to win this game Sunday? It's been 21 years since the Eagles won in the state of Arizona.
It has been?
Yeah, man. Last time they won was 2001.
Oh, yeah, I was on that team. Oh. Now, it's probably going to take us to start fast, strong, and finish strong because Kyler Murray he will bring you back with his legs and stuff, and you just got to corral that kid, and don't let them get out running because if they get out running as well, then you just pretty much just gonna be pissed in the win. The one thing that I do like is we've been making teams one dimensional, and when you make a team one dimensional, you pretty much know what they're doing and you can dictate to them. Offensively, I think we got to run the ball down their throat, kind of keep the ball away from a Kyler Murray so they're not. See, if you keep that offense off the field. And you're scoring and keeping that offense off the field, they're not able to get into any type of rhythm. So when they get out there, it's a quick 3 and out. But then your offense comes out there and puts a 5, 6, 7 play drive together, get a couple of big plays here and there, and just pretty much try to dominate. But you got to get them out. I say the first thing that we have to do offensively is get them off balance, so we could do whatever we want. We can dictate to them. We got to have the running. The running has to be going in order for us to do play action to make sure that we get Buda Baker sniffing around in the backfield. Get him sniffing around in the backfield, and then we hit them over the top, hit their corners with some double moves and stuff. They're going to be aggressive and they're going to send multiple fronts at us. So it should be a great game. I think this is one of those good tests because last year they were 9-0 before they lost the game and then snuck into the playoffs. But it was like if they were doing great, and I don't know if is coming back. DeAndre Hopkins, is he coming back?
No, this game not for this game. Not for this game. No.
Okay, good. He's a nightmare. But because they lost Kirkland, they still have AJ and Zach Hertz, and they got a couple other guys. But I think it's going to be a formidable matchup. But I hope we don't let Kyler Murray stand back there and pick us apart. Jonathan Gannon, please don't make me regret giving you props.
Hey man, I like when you said that the Eagles have been making teams one dimensional. It's true. Like they're shutting down run games, man. It's been like so enjoyable to watch defense. Like to me, if anyone who's been listening, that's the one thing I had mentioned. I said, this is what I want. I want a solid defense. This defense is now giving this offense more opportunities. You listen to guys like Fletcher Cox. He mentioned that last year we didn't do our job and the fact that we weren't getting the ball back for our offense. This year they're doing that, man. That's just another added element to this defense. And then you look at guys like Jordan Davis, who's coming off the bench. Did you see he was throwing dudes at the club and
was he?
And hustling.
Yeah.
There was a play, it was a sweep out to the left, and this dude made a tackle probably like 16, 17 yards downfield.
Yeah, I like to see that in the young guy, especially the one thing I think that we miss when we come from college is not running from sideline to sideline. Some of the guys don't run from sideline to sideline, and oftentimes just standing watching the ball like a fucking spectator. I used to hate that shit because you're making all of us look bad. Because the first thing I do is like, get your fat ass down the field. Like, really? You had to make him use fat, huh? So
I'm glad we don't got that problem, man, because he's been doing his thing, and then especially on that run defense, he's been shutting it down. I mean, he had some key plays that day.
Yeah,
and it was
and
just
the other part too, Prime, is him doing that is making the older guys take notice and start doing the same thing.
Absolutely, you're
lead,
right.
lead by example.
About that. You're definitely right about that.
Because occasionally Fletcher was last year was he was just chilling.
Yeah, man, you didn't see that and you definitely didn't even see that out of Fletch. You saw more, you saw more out of Fletch on Sunday, seeing that young boy doing his thing. So you're right. I mean, it's something to feed off of, and I like it. I like the fact that they're playing side by side and they can feed off of each other.
Yeah, because that way they can double team both of them.
Exactly.
Now talking about this defensive front while we're here, the Eagles have 4 players with at least 2.5 sacks. They have Hassan has 3.5, Fletcher has 3, Brandon Graham has 3, and Josh Sweat has 2.5. Last season they only had the players that had 2.5 sacks the entire 2021 season was Von Hargrave was 7.5, Sweat had 7.5, and Cox had 3.5. So I think it's everybody eat. Everybody eat.
I think another thing too is he's starting to delve deeper into his defense and get the guys on the move a little bit. Last time, everybody always knew where our defensive line was going to be and where they were going to go. It's like they was going to line up in the gap that they were going to, and I think that right there dictated what a lot of offenses were able to do to us, and were able to pretty much hold us back as far as creating havoc in the backfield. When you put the other team on notice and move the guys around, whether it's slanting, whether it's looping, whether it's running an up front stunt or running a blitz or something off the edge, or whether it's a blitz or a zone pressure, then it puts them on notice, and it puts the actually offensive line. They don't have a comfortable game. It's like, oh, what are you gonna do next? Oh, what are you gonna do next? And so it puts them on edge a little bit. That's where you get the false starts, the illegal motions, or they jump the ball, or the holding. So I'm just looking forward to seeing what else. Even though I know this is mostly Vic Fangio's doing.
He still won this guy.
Even though I know it's mostly his doing, it is what it is.
Now, Jason in the comments says, "Where's Evan? Is he checking on medicals?" Shout out to Evan. It's his birthday. Yesterday was his birthday, so
happy birthday, Ev Love.
Big ups.
And where the fuck he at?
He's working today.
He's celebrating his birthday.
He's doing birthday things.
You got a hooker? What? I mean, what? Is it a secret? Put
him in the bathroom, man.
Please give his apologies.
Put him in the bathroom.
What is so too soon?
Yeah, too soon.
Yeah, man.
Let's see. So talking about let's
change the subject.
Talking about this. I mean, I feel like people don't spend enough time talking about the game. They want to get on to the next one. I feel like you just gotta appreciate what the Eagles have done over the last couple of games. There's just amazing things they've been doing. Talking about AJ Brown, who really hasn't made any mistakes except for not trying to tackle that dude.
That was kind of probably one of those ones where if he'd have stretched out, he probably would look like the dude. I don't know if you saw the game.
Yeah. I remember where he ended up flying. Yeah, and there was nowhere near. I mean, it's the truth, though. Like, all right, I mean, like everybody's gonna go ahead and have that one play, and there was AJ's. Like, all right, let it go. Put it under the rug. Let's move on. It is what it is. We got the victory and everything, but like everybody's like big on this because the fact that he didn't tackle. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, it really wasn't that serious.
I don't want to get him hurt, but I'm sorry.
I know. But the one thing that pissed me off was after the game, you still had Jalen Hurts haters. And Reuben Franks was one of them with his big goofy ass. But I was like, what are you talking about? They haven't played anybody. We haven't won it. Like, we haven't won. We won 4 games. We beat the motherfuckers that were put in front of us. I was like, I hate when, and it's like, that Reuben Franks was everybody on that show. I'm not even gonna give them the respect to mention the name of the show. But whatever post game show he's on, him and what's the other boy's name? He's an old guy too. Ron Jaworski. All of those guys, they're not giving my boy is just dessert. He's continuing to get better, but they say, well, you need to just enjoy the fucking ride. Yeah, and we don't need constant critics. He's his biggest critic himself. The part that continues to piss me off is that they always have something negative to say, like a negative Nancy. It's like, come on, dude. Really?
I mean,
it's like even the game he was 80% passing. Oh, well, his accuracy is still in question. Are you fucking kidding me? 80%? Really? But you know what? It's okay. It's okay.
now, talking about some rare stats as we talk about Jalen Hurts. The second quarter touchdown that he had that gives him 17 in his career, and he is now tied with Cam Newton for the most by a QB in his first 23 starts.
Nice.
I mean, that's a part of his game, and I feel like I don't know why we cherry pick stuff with not we, but I'm saying a media pick certain topics to when it comes to Jalen Hurts. It's almost like it has to be perfect. Like it has to, every single aspect of the game with Hurts has to be perfect. If you look at the game, there's going to be blemishes. Jalen Hurts came out there, threw a pick. Obviously, he shouldn't have thrown it there. You get a little upset at that. You'll see many of them might have seen Dallas Goedert in the slot where he could have been a big play right there. But talk about progression. You see later on in the game, they run the same play in Dallas Goedert. He hits him open for a nice play. But the fact that he's learning from some of these mistakes, it is what it is. But look at the weather, look at the game, look at the W. We're 4-0. Like it's set it and forget it. They'll move on to the next. Obviously, the standard is the standard. And believe me, I believe they're working off of all these mistakes, and I just don't understand why Jalen Hurts gets all this. It's like I got to see one more game. I've also heard I got to see him beat the Cowboys. I'm like, bro, he's done some great things so far.
Get ready. Get ready.
I'm gonna pitch this to you because these jokers are getting on my nerve with the hate on my youngin. I just, everybody like I was arguing with a Detroit Lions fan. He was talking about y'all barely beat us. I was like, we kicked y'all ass. I was like, y'all barely beat us. I was like, is that a column? And it's wins, losses, and ties. I was like, we kicked y'all ass. Y'all have an L in the loss column. I was like, when the dust settles, the kid knows how to go out there and win the game with whatever it takes. He makes good decisions. He's a good decision maker. Now we could have your boy Carson here taking sack after sack after sack in the face, so to speak. Pause. But but no. But go ahead, Prime.
I thought you were going to stop after the second sack, but you just kept on going.
Sorry. But go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, truth be told, I mean, you've been one to go ahead and dig in us that week after week after week, this man is just progressing. And it's the truth. I'm enjoying the ride just as much. I was one, that question things that he definitely needed to work on, and that's exactly what he did. And week after week after week, he's showing that. And he's going to keep on showing that. Yo, the profession shit, like, get that the fuck out of your heads. This man is not perfect. There ain't not one fucking quarterback in this league that is perfect. Tom Brady is the man. Don't get me wrong, but he was not perfect. He made mistakes.
He ain't no Joe Montana.
So
Tom Brady's not Joe Montana.
If they really expect this man to come in every week and be perfect at the games and go, throw 100%, no, it's not gonna fucking happen. So please, let that shit go. He finds a way to win the game, and he's been showing that every week. And I'm one that's sitting on that couch or sitting at the stadium, watching it and believing in it. And he's got me. He's got me convinced. He's got me convinced that he could go ahead and do this. People are now asking he's got to beat Dallas. Well, you know what? Wait 2 fucking weeks, and I'm gonna tell you right now, he's going to beat Dallas. All right, because he is getting his shit together, and he's got the weapons to do it. And y'all need to start buying in because the man, he's there. He's there.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know what else you can do. Shout out to Conrad. He said, whoever made this bird schedule, it's like a whole reunion tour.
This is the reunion tour, right?
the Rager revenge game, the Wentz revenge game, Doug revenge game, Hertz revenge game.
Yeah,
Listen, man,
and Rasul Douglas.
We got Deuce out the way. We got Rager out the way. We got Carson out the way. Dougie P out the way. Hertz is next. Jason Peters is after that. I mean, come on. We can keep on going.
Yeah.
Shout out to Daryl. He said, "Don't call that man Darius." You're right. Slay. Looking at this schedule right here, and this is I don't want just looking at the schedule as we look forward. I mean, the Eagles are favored in every single game as we move forward. It is what it is, man. And you only play who you play. I just at the end of the day, when these commentators come on and
who have they played?
Speaking code
they haven't beat no good teams. It's like against and it's what. Sorry, Gail, but I hear that same shit every time.
And you gonna keep on hearing it.
It's like, but can you go get a band of your misfits together and bring their punk ass out there and beat an NFL team? The other team is played too, and it's like if you let a team come out in those first parts of the game, if you don't stomp them out and take their heart, then you have a fight on your hand. It's not as easy as people make it seem. Even though even the bad teams will put foot in your ass sideways to the next life. Ask Indianapolis last year what happened with Jacksonville, down in Jacksonville. And all they had to do was win to get in the playoffs. And Jacksonville had 2 victories to that point. You think you can roll that fucking helmet out there trying to get a victory? You are sadly mistaken, sir. You will get your ass handed to you, and everybody will laugh at you. And I thought they were going to win. You thought the other team was going to lay down? They get paid. They get paid. They get paid, and all this is on tape. So if you think you're going to go out there, it's more than a notion to go out there and win to get a victory in the NFL. Now, I don't know why people don't realize that. And they always talk about, you didn't beat a good team. I was like, well, is your team better than the team that's on the field? I mean, because I guarantee you, y'all can go through as many training camps as you want, and you'll never get there. I'm just saying. I'll be here all week.
Now, Charles said he is going down to AZ, but he said, we don't have a great record at AZ. Is this the jinx breaker?
No,
I haven't been there. He says he's been there 4 times and they had lost every time. See, this is the jinx breaker because we are all going to attend and see this W. This is going to be a great vacation for us.
Well, see,
5 days of Eagles fandom.
My last two trips down there, I won.
Oh,
one with the Birds, and then when I was playing with Carolina, we went down there and stomped a mud hole in their ass. Beat them like 48 to 20. Okay. Hey, they gonna throw. We was watching the film. I was like, every time they throw a screenplay, they try to cut the defensive end. The first play of the game, they tried to throw a screen to Larry Fitzgerald. They tried to cut Julius Peppers. He jumped over the cut block, picked it off, and was dancing 20 yards later in the end zone. And the onslaught began. We had a little 2-headed monster with I call it a Bushwick Bill. D'Angelo, I think it's D'Angelo Williams and Stewart and Jermaine is it Jermaine? Not Jermaine Stewart, but his last name was Stewart. We called him Carlton because he looked like Carlton, the little kid from running back from Oregon. But we went and we stomped the butthole on him, dude. Those are the last 2 times, and I think we can go down there and get a victory. It's gonna be. And I know it's going to be weighing on the team's mind. And this is where Nick Sirianni comes in. He's a coach that's extremely competitive. And then this is like everybody's got the notion that we always lose in Arizona. This is how you build the confidence with your team. And you stopping trends and you breaking records and curses. So this is one of those curses that you have to break. Like when I was playing with Andy, when Andy first got here, we needed to break the road curse. We won 4 or 5 games the year his first year here, but they were all at home. That we hadn't won a game on the road. Then we finally broke that curse, and then we broke the curse of winning in Arizona because we finally won in Arizona. Even though it was at the behest of Mike Caldwell. Mike Caldwell, he cramped up. I mean, when I say cramped up, we had to get him an IV. The defensive coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars, he was playing linebacker at the time.
Now, I remember Mike playing with y'all, but I wanted to go ahead and hit you up personally and tell you all that shit that you were talking on the last show about. Yo, be careful because we have old coaches that used to be on this squad. Man, they can all kiss my ass because we.
Yeah, I'm glad we beat their ass. I just wanted us to be careful. Hey, because he was doing everything, all that stuff he was doing at the beginning. I'm glad that we were able to make adjustments.
Yeah,
and because he was coming on with the come on, and he had a young defense, but his young defense hadn't been up against a squad like ours before yet. So we were able to kick their ass.
Let's talk about no one's talking about the Hassan Reddick revenge. How about that? I'm ecstatic about.
Yo, he's coming. He's
Hassan Reddick, man.
He's coming. It's getting put together, bro. I mean, this last game that he played, he showed his ass off, and that's what we've been waiting for.
And who drafted him?
Yeah,
who drafted him?
There you go.
Who drafted him?
You know
who drafted him, don't you?
AZ.
Yeah.
I know.
He left there. They wouldn't pay him.
Yeah.
He's time them to show them that they
now
can
you're
pay.
going to show them exactly. So it's a perfect scenario this upcoming Sunday. Perfect scenario.
Darlene in the comments says, "I'm all in Prime after the game during his victory speeches. All I can think about is looking at those guys, looking at their QB and believing him and in him. It gives me goosebumps." There's a thing when you have a player has presence and doesn't really have to say much. You believe and you know that player will you to some of these victories. And there's sometimes you have teams with like vocal leaders, and you have some guys that just they know at the right time to say, they'll give you the message at the right time at the right moment. It could be 3 or 4 or 5 words, but the emotion it just transcends even off the field. So I think Hertz has really done a great job just being himself and doing what he does. He was on I don't know if I didn't get to catch it, but I did see that he was wearing the sweatshirt that he's praying for all the
all the
haters out there.
They're hating on him. I love that one, man. I love that one. Don't let me find that. Don't let me find that sweatshirt because I'm definitely going to rep that.
I'm going to find it.
Yeah, I think I got that.
And I'm gonna get the alligator shoes and the hat to match.
No.
Oh, you got the Gators.
Got the Gators with the belt to match.
It's I was looking at the weather for the Arizona game. It's
92 degrees.
Right now they said 97 for Thursday.
Oh man, when we touch down, what a Parker icon, baby.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be insane. I mean,
now I'm going to do 3 extra push-ups tomorrow. Oh, sorry.
Now talking about who was your people in the chat as well? Who was your offensive MVP from the Eagles Jags game? Go to you,
Miles Sanders, bro. I mean, Miles came and did his thing. He showed it. I mean, I've been saying it since the offseason. This man is going to go ahead and step up big this season. Yep. And this was the game that he definitely proved it. I mean, he had the most carries of his career, had the most yardages of his career. So, I mean, it was just time. Yep. And here it was at a perfect scenario with that rain. I mean, I said it out in the parking lot when we were tailgating. Like, I
said it on last week.
They don't. The Jaguars don't got what we got, and that's Boobie Miles. Boobie Miles is probably going crazy right now, ready to play this game. And look what happened, man. Look at the outcome. The man
he's covering me up. Boobie Miles is covering me up.
He did his thing, man. He did his thing, bro. So Boobie Miles definitely is the player, the offensive player for me.
Now, if you can remove, there you go.
I'm trying to produce and talk at the same time.
Now pick.
Man, doing his thing.
Who picked Miles? You don't even remember. No, I picked Miles as the offensive MVP.
You got it.
No. And here's I'm going to give you the reason why. Remember we was talking, and I said that they were number 1 versus run with only 55 yards. They're trying to make us one-dimensional. He needs to get off, and he did. And I said he was going to get off and handle business. He needed to be the offensive MVP, and he was. That was the best downhill running I've seen him do. And hopefully that builds confidence in him to continue to do that, to put motherfuckers on notice that you're gonna get a healthy dose of Miles Sanders, baby, and not another East and West crap.
Another problem for the upcoming defense.
Exactly,
another problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a hat tip to Miles Sanders. The way that he was running the football, it's been inspired. You look at the Detroit game; he's been stacking really solid games. There's a couple plays. Some of the plays that he broke open were great to see, but there was just one run for me that it was just a generic run, but the patience that he was showing as he working each offensive lineman, and then he found this like little crease and got about 7 yards. To me, I was like, this man is showing patience. Leg drive, he's looking healthy out there, and at this moment, he's the 3rd running back in rushing. Followed, he's just behind Saquon Barkley, his former teammate, who's and Nick Chubb as well. So I mean,
Nick
hat
Chubb
tip
get
to
a
him.
thousand. Nick
And,
Chubb
I mean,
gets
people are
1,000
asking how
carries.
many touchdowns he's got. He's got 3 touchdowns, 2 on
Yep.
Saturday,
Touchdowns.
2 on Sunday, and the first one on the very first game of the season. So he's at 3.
So talking about his production from last year, he's almost doubled his production from last year.
Yeah.
12
Well,
games.
you look at Gail. You get what you guys can look at it is you said the patience. They look at it, finding that little crease and getting downhill. It's like he wasn't like when he wasn't showing patience. He's running east to west, which makes it easy for the guys up front to tackle him because you're running sideways. When you get downhill, it's hard as hell to catch somebody, and I'm running sideways to try to catch you, and you didn't already pass where I'm going. So I think hopefully he's got that now.
Oh, he's got it down pat, man, and he's only going to get better as weeks go on.
Some honorable mentions in the chat for Jack.
Yeah,
Driscoll.
I mean, Jack Driscoll definitely played his part, man, coming in. You know, I mean,
that's my guy.
This guy went down and he did his thing. He held the line. I mean, look, there were some plays that the defense got through. But look, again, we're not talking about perfection. We don't have no perfection on this team.
Right.
But the fact that you go ahead and do the ratio, it was more better plays than negative plays. So I mean, I'll take that all day. So he did his thing. So shout out to Jack Driscoll as well.
Shout out to Jack. The one thing that you to piggyback what our prime said was a lot of times we want our players to win every snap. You just have to win most of the snaps. You have to win. You have to win most of them and be consistently winning most of them. Like when everybody should be surprised when you lose a snap. And just and the thing that I loved about when Jack came on, he didn't have any mental errors. And like the one thing that I think sticks in a coach's craw is when you mess up mentally, when you don't do the play right or don't block who you're supposed to or don't hit the right gap, it messes up the whole offense or defense. So it was hats off to him actually not making a mental error and not expecting to play. Because in that on offensive line, you don't be expecting to play. You be over there chilling, the sunflower seeds. Like, yeah, give me. You be messing with the equipment measures. Hey, let me get a couple of them hot dogs. They be like, Tank. Yeah.
Now Brian wants to show love to some of the receivers blocking downfield. Ain't no joke either.
Yeah.
AJ Brown, he likes to he likes to tussle out there. And you look at Skinny Batman out there.
Smith. They do be handling business, man.
They're very excited. You saw that run that Miles Sanders got in there. You know how excited. It's rare. It's kind of rare to see wide receivers excited for, because they want to be scoring touchdowns out there. But Devontae Smith out there very excited about Miles Sanders scoring a touchdown.
But you know what? The one thing that I've learned and was one good blocker. He told me, he's like, if you come out there ready to block somebody all the time, when you run your routes, it's gonna be easy because they're not gonna want none of that heat. They hoping for a pass. I was like, but when you come out there, you put them hands on them. Try Jesus, but please don't try me because I throw hands.
Shout out to Lexus. He says my guy Dallas dropped the layup. He did. He dropped the layup on that one play. But if we're gonna be positive here, he's been phenomenal. He's been every bit.
He came back with a nice touchdown play. You know.
Yeah, I mean he's been solid. I think the way they utilize Dallas Goedert in the screen game has been it's very effective, especially when he's trying to he shows the blocking and then he flashes out into the flats or whatever. But last year he was fifth in the NFL. Last season with 10.9 yards per target through 4 games. He's averaging 12 yards per target, which puts him fifth in the NFL. And he remains one of the most efficient players in the NFL when the ball comes his way. Hat tip to Kempsky for that stat right there. But, just overall, he's coming to his own as a player, and that's what you like to see. Now, moving towards defensive side of things, you know a lot about that, Hollis. Who's your defensive MVP versus today?
I'll let Prime go first because I already know who I want.
I'm gonna go with the hometown kid, man. Hassan Reddick did his thing, bro. I mean, this was the game that we've been waiting for, and it finally came in. I mean, he was the MVP from the beginning of the game, during the game, after the game. I mean, his interview at the end of the game, at the end of the whatchamacallit, he broke it down and he told him straight up, like, he had the best comeback for everything that those reporters were trying to throw at him.
So I mean, the man was lit up. He was lit up on Sunday, and he showed it on the field. And then the fact that I mean, going off of that game, going into this game, this upcoming Sunday, playing against a team that gave up on you, God only knows what he's going to show. So I'm looking forward to that just as well. So that's my defensive MVP.
That was mine too, man. That was mine too, man.
Okay.
That's why I let him go first, because normally he'll let somebody go first. Be like, damn, I knew I should have went. So I let him
I
go first.
appreciate that. Thank you, man.
He had to pick a litter, because it's that's you can't ask for more than what he did. He came out there, and I know, and the one thing that I do know too is you can see the frustration on his face in the previous games, because you're misusing the guy. You're misusing an athletic talent. You needed to move him around and have him rush the passer. Occasionally, you drop him in the coverage to trick some people after he's wreaked havoc. It's like, and then he gets some picks for you and stuff. But you use him to the best of his ability, and his best ability is get to the passer. So I commend Vic Fangio for doing it. I mean, Jonathan Gannon.
I'm gonna have to. It's gonna be a trifecta here. We're going to Hassan Reddick. The man, he's first time since 2005, I think, was Jared Allen that a defensive player has had 2 sacks and a forced fumble in the same game. So hat tip to Hassan. The fact that he's doing it in his home stadium. He mentioned there's nothing like winning at the Link. This guy went to Temple. He's every bit of hard work from where he's come from and making it to the NFL and then becoming that dude. Talk about pressures. I mean, this he's been putting a lot of pressure and getting a lot of sacks over the last probably 5 years. He's top 5 and getting to the quarterback. It's something that Hassan Reddick kind of gets left out of a lot of these conversations. But I think
they hadn't been using him good.
Yeah. Well, here he is doing it in front of his hometown. It's got to be a beautiful thing. Yeah,
especially when your hometown live and die by the birds. There's a diehard Philadelphia Eagle Nation. And
I saw a comment from DC Darryl. Shout out to DC Darryl. Honorable mention TJ Edwards. Edwards has been flying around. They talk about the weight loss that he lost some weight over the season. The way that he's flying around,
you can tell.
To me, yeah, dude. There's a couple plays out there. I'm like, dude, TJ's
where did he come from?
Whether if it was 5 pounds, 10 pounds, I mean, he's looking lighter on his feet, so he's definitely moving around, and he's playing that defense very well. So I mean, he stepped this game up this year for sure.
Now, somebody said Bradbury should be the defensive MVP.
I mean, look, he had a key interception, but there was just a whole lot more that was going on from other players, and Hassan was one. So I'm not taking nothing away from the interception. It was a key interception, but I'm gonna stick to my defensive player.
Honestly, I love the way when Hassan talks in the Philly accent. It makes it better.
It makes it that much more better.
Makes it a little bit better. Shout out to Bob. He says, "Hey, how was Alex's pulled pork at the tailgate?" Shout out to Alex.
Yeah,
came down there with his dad. They set up in the freezing rain. I'm not saying it was freezing, but it was cold rain out there.
It was freezing.
It was chilly. It was colder than we were used to.
Yeah,
it was like it kind of went from 90 to 50 real quick. Like, damn, what part of the game is this?
Absolutely.
But that was the one thing I was to sell. Like, usually if it's their first time at tailgate, I just make sure that they know what's going on and that they're welcomed and to have a good time and everything. But I was just like, I know it's cold out here, but there's beer over there, and go check my man Alex over there. He's the pulled pork is ready, because that pulled pork was amazing.
Yeah, man. The sauce that he had to go with that pulled pork was amazing as well, man. So I mean, that definitely made the sandwich. But I mean, we had our Evan had his cheesesteaks going, and I'm not going. I made it very clear to Alex, like, yo, your pulled pork is good, but it ain't gonna overcome this cheesesteak that I'm about to have. And I tore that shit up. But then, as I'm waiting for my cheesesteak, I was giving love to Alex, and I was like, yo, let me get one of those pulled pork sandwiches. And bro, that thing.
So basically, what you're telling me, Prob, is you went over there, $8 grub, and went home and snuggled up and fell asleep.
I did exactly. I didn't fall asleep. I fell asleep after the game, but yes, I did exactly that, man. I did an eat and run. I definitely did an eat and run.
Now, if you want to follow Alex, his on Instagram or Twitter, his ad is @1the Juggernaut.
The Juggernaut.
That man can throw down in the kitchen.
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
So I mean, we're about to embark on a trip. In 2 days, we'll be leaving on Thursday to Arizona.
Damn, Skippy.
How excited are you about this trip?
Who, me?
Yeah,
I'm pretty stoked. You know, you're going to hot weather, three-story water slide, 2.5-acre water park.
Damn.
You going on the water slide?
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch people scream. I'm gonna be in a water park though.
I might just do that. If this thing's legit, I'm in there, bro. I love.
I might do the water slide because it's FCC approved and stuff. You know, I had to check the safety grade on it.
Mr. Ocean Man over here.
I'm just saying, I don't want anybody to get hurt on that slide.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to this trip. Looking forward to the hot weather once again for a little bit. You know, going to catch up with some family. Shout out to Tim. You know, he's waiting for us to get over there so he can join us and everything. But yeah, I mean, we gotta keep this thing going, man. And people, there were some mentions earlier that, you know, things have been going well because the 4th and Jawn boys are there and Tank along with us. So I mean, like, yo, we just got to keep this thing going. We got to keep on showing up at these games, repping like we've been doing, and look at the outcome. So that's the excitement right there.
I'm a little torn because, like, there's, you know, our road trips might be ending.
Hey man, that's all right. I mean,
but I'm thinking, like, do we have to change up things? My girl's brother's getting married, and I'm like, I would like to go to Indy. I'd like to keep this up. I thought, you know, things can't change for me. Like, you have to keep on doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Wear the same drawers. Don't wash them.
No, you lost me.
That is a joke, my friend. That is a joke.
I hope so. I hope so. I don't want to find out. I'm just saying. That was awesome.
It is.
Yeah. Fish anyone? No.
Hey, but I also want to do. I do want to give some love to Mal. And Allison out there. You know, they are being parents out there, parenting the best way they know how. As a new dad, baby's
only a couple weeks old.
It's a big change, bro. It's a big change, man.
Just don't fuck it up.
Nah, not at all. I mean, I think he's going to be just fine. But I mean, I know what he's going through. So, you know what I mean? It's a big change. It's a big change in your life. But I wish him and the wifey nothing but, you know, many blessings. They going to be just fine. I mean, they got to enjoy this thing and just, you know, go along for the ride because it's going to just get wild.
As both of you guys were as father, when you guys were new fathers, what was it like changing diapers? Was that the kind of thing that you had to learn, you went ahead?
It definitely wasn't the diaper changing, man. It is what it is. I mean, like, you know, that's part of the parenthood, but it was just getting used to the screaming, getting up at night, you know what I mean, in the middle.
You know what? That Prime, I'm with you for the most part on that. You know what it was when they got to that toddler's age and you was laying down, you sleep, it's about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden you turn over towards the floor and it's just somebody sitting there like,
yo, that's what I go through now. These 2 knuckleheads upstairs, especially my daughter, man. It's like she's got it clockwork every day, every night in the morning, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. She's tapping on me. You know what I mean? It's just to the point
I sleep
where
with you?
In the very beginning, I would get up like, baby, you okay? Now you should see me, Gail. I grab her and I throw her onto the damn bed and I go back to sleep. Like that's at the point where I'm at right now with my daughter.
Can I sleep with you? How can you just get into bed? It's like they wake you up and then like like when they get, you're gonna go through some times when they're not gonna be feeling at their finest, and that's probably the worst because you feel bad, and then you feel worse because you hope that they made it to the bathroom, but most of the time they're not.
Yeah. It's a lot, man. It's a lot.
Yeah,
and don't go off of our experience. Just try to Try to experience
Right.
your own, man.
It's
Yeah,
not, but it's gonna be like that. Though. I'm just saying.
You gotta try to
my-
experience your own, bro.
Our family cat is looking at me like, "You gonna change this litter over here, dog? As soon as this episode's over." But shout out to Mark. You always see him in the chat around here. The resident Oregonian Eagle fan.
Looking forward to
Oh,
it.
cool.
This is his first time we're gonna meet Mark
Yeah, man.
out on the road. He said he can't wait to finally meet the 4th and Jawn crew in AZ.
Can't wait
And
either,
again,
bro.
this is really what it's about, like getting out here, enjoying some moments,
Now
seeing
you
the
guys-
birds, and having a good time.
Now you guys will get to meet my other two, well, both of my brothers. I don't know if you met Pops. I think did you guys meet Pops and my sister Maxine?
Yeah,
At
yeah,
the,
we met him
DC?
at the Washington game. Yes,
Well,
sir,
my
yes, sir.
other brother lives in Arizona. Him and Nugget, Bunk, and Brayson, Brighton, and Brayton.
Jeez, older, or
the
younger.
The younger. I'm the oldest of five, but he's got three little cats that that's gonna swing by. It's probably gonna tear up everything in sight, but but you'll get to see them. They'll be down there kicking.
You're the
I see
Jermaine Jackson of the Jackson 5.
I see Pete's going to be there too, man. He had a question. He had a question earlier in the comments asking if he was going to bring his daughter and everything. I mean, bro, at the end of the day, I can't tell you what a tailgate is like in Arizona. Yeah. I know I wouldn't recommend at least at this time of the year going forward at our tailgates because the weather's cold. But if it's like in the very beginning of the season, yeah, I would tell you to go ahead and bring the baby. You know what I mean? It's all good. We've had many kids. I've even had my own kids there, but I don't know what it's like in Arizona, so I can't really comment on that. But I just want to be the one to tell you though, Pete, when I do meet you in Arizona this weekend, keep your out of ass stats to yourself, man, because I've been seeing some of your comments on here lately. Yeah, make sure you keep those out of ass stats to yourself.
You said Kyler Murray's been hot in the second half.
Yeah, stop, man. Second half shit.
We were not losing to no appetizer.
So
Kyler Murray.
So is Geno Smith. No.
Speaking of Seattle, shout out to Anthony. He said he will see y'all on Friday through Saturday. He's coming in from
man. Looking forward to seeing a lot of new faces this upcoming weekend. I know y'all been waiting patiently like we are, so it's going to be fun, man.
Now we'll start with Tank. Last word before we get out of
here. Last word. I'm thoroughly enjoying this Eagles season that's currently upon us. I don't think I've enjoyed it on this side as much as I am now since we won the year we won the Super Bowl. I just want to keep this going. Let's keep it going. And go down there and Anthony missed me at the Vikings game. Catch me at the Philly Sports Bar now. That's down there. We got a sports bar in pretty much every city. It is in the United
crazy.
States.
You'd be surprised, man.
But I just want to thank everybody for showing support and stuff, and thank you guys for welcoming me in. And let's just keep this thing rolling.
Primo.
Yeah, man. I mean, Tank said it. The best. I mean, let's just keep riding this train. I mean, it's fun. We're having a good time as fans. Watching these guys play probably one of the best footballs we've seen in years, man. So I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to catching up with a lot of the new faces in Arizona. I know you guys have been dedicated followers and big supporters, and we're finally going to go ahead and have the privilege to meet you guys this upcoming weekend. So looking forward to that. It's all about having fun and being in that building, representing the Birds like we've been all season so far. So go Birds, let's do this.
Go Birds.
Yeah, the Eagles have had a tremendous 4 weeks. I think at the end of the day, you have to be proud of what they've done so far. We all know that they haven't played their best. They will be doubted by media. I know some media are piggybacking off of some of their bad takes in the offseason, some of their QB takes. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. It's really what goes on in the locker room, what they believe in. That's Jalen Hertz, who leads the ship. I think right now they're riding off really good vibes. They still haven't put a solid game together, like 4 quarters.
Complete game.
So and they've been tremendous. They're 4-0. So I'm feeling good about our Birds. I'm feeling good about this AZ trip. Shout out to Ev working hard, and shout out to Mal. But we'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, fly, Eagles, fly.
Go Birds.